So today I want to talk to you about accounts and why they're so important for your business. Now, I'm 10 years into my business and accounts have been one of my challenges, let's say, through having a business. And they've not really been my friend, if I'm being honest. And that's even with having an accountant as well. So I wanted to make it really obvious to you about why accountancy was so important to your business and how it links to money mindset. Because if you're not looking at your accounts, you will actually find you'll have a lot more challenges. And part of my lessons were actually to get on top of my accounts and to understand my accounts and understand why I couldn't get certain things to work, etc., and how it links to money mindset. So, as with business plan, the last video I did, this one is about accounts, and I have an acronym called accounts. So I'm just going to go through that with you. So the first A is obviously accounting, about what it is, and ultimately it's so important to understand the accounts of your business. So one of the reasons why I say it's so important to do that is that if you don't, what happens is partway through your year, you're suddenly thinking, I've got to do my tax, I've got to get things sorted. And actually, if you don't know what you're doing, you can really cause yourself an awful lot of stress because you won't have been issuing invoices in the right way necessarily. You won't have been tracking payments you've made. You won't be tracking things from your PayPal to your business account. You might even have a business account to know that you should have a business account. That's actually caused a lot of problems for people with getting grants at the moment because they didn't have a business account. They've just been siphoning their business money through a personal account, which you're not supposed to do. So it's so important to have that business understanding of having accounts. You don't necessarily need to have an accountant to do your accounts. If you're very proficient in keeping track of everything and you're more than happy to do your tax return, there's no reason why you shouldn't have one, although you may be missing opportunities to save tax, obviously. And that's where a good accountant will work with you, but they'll also find you work as well as part of what they're doing as well. Some will and some won't. Varied challenges with the different accountants that I've worked with. Ultimately, you want to work alongside your accountant and work with them. And what I mean by that is you don't necessarily want an accountant who just does your accounts for you, tells you what you owe at a particular time of the year, you pay them out and boom, that's it. And you never actually look at your accounts. You actually want an accountant who explains what they're doing. They find out about you, they find out about your business, they find out about how you want to grow your business, and they support you through the process of you understanding the paperwork side of your business or the online systems that you're using behind your business, so that as a business owner you feel much more confident about your accounts. Because if you want to scale your business up and make it a much larger business, if you don't understand it, how on earth are you going to be able to share that your wisdom and your knowledge within your business if you haven't understand whether you've got the amount of money to spend on different things like investing in staff or investing in equipment, opportunities that come along, and you're thinking, I have no idea how much money I made, I've got no idea whether I can invest in that or not. So, and actually all the numbers that you're working through and all the things you're creating on a business are all coming from your mind. So it is essential that you take ownership of your accounts. I can't stress that enough. That it isn't good enough to have an accountant and go, thank you, I've paid you the money, boom, how much do I owe, that's it, and that's all you do. Because to a certain point you will grow, but you will actually be stopping yourself from growing. Actually, you'll create yourself more stress as well. Often I hear that people are doing their accounts in January. I'm getting my tax return done. You get your tax return done. Well, actually, it wasn't supposed to be done in January. Actually, it was for the year before in April. And you want to be projecting the amount of money that you're earning, the amount of money that you need as cash flow in your business. If you don't understand what those terms are, then that's actually something for you to be aware of and to learn how to do it. You may also have the maths phobia like I had. What the maths phobia is basically when you're at school, you weren't very good at maths, you felt a little bit out of control about that, and actually that fear still lives within you. So whenever you do anything numerically based in your business, you will struggle. You'll think, oh God, and how am I adding that up? And how do I need to work that out? Because it'll be much more challenging and much more of a words person than a numbers person, but I'm much better at numbers than I ever have been as well. So this is about making sure that you take ownership about how you are understanding the information in your accounts, understanding what things mean, understanding what terminology is, understanding what your accountant is saying to you, rather than running the opposite direction, hoping for the best that everything will be okay. Because I'm going to tell you, if you've not been doing things right in 1 year, it does catch up with you. And I have to tell you, I have had a big bill come to me because I didn't actually understand my accounts fully, but a mistake was also made by my accountant too. And it's quite painful suddenly getting a big bill from the HMRC when you're not expecting it and you don't have the money to pay it. So had I taken more ownership, I might have seen it. Not 100% I could have seen what was going on, because it was a genuine error that was made. However, there are other things that could be spotted in my accounts of the past, that if I'd seen things, I could have seen there was an area. There were things that I didn't do in time. And then when my accountants asked me, I'm thinking, I don't remember what I spent that money on. I couldn't remember where the receipts were, or was disorganised. And actually that's not a good way to run your business. You want to have good systems in place. So accountancy is an element of your business which you look at every week, regardless of whether you've got an accountant or not, or a bookkeeper. It needs to be part of your weekly thing, that you're looking at the numbers in your business and you're planning going forward, and it links into that business plan so much that I was talking about in the last video. It's also around consistency. That's the C of accounts. That you want to be consistent. You want to be consistently looking at the numbers in your business and checking that everything's up to date. Because what that does, it means that you'll make less mistakes. You'll understand. So it's so easy in accounting software to put the wrong date in. That it's, because you have to go flick back trying to find the right date. Even if you're just doing 2 months at a time of things. And I've just had to sort something out myself today. I was thinking, why wasn't that tallying? It's because I'd got the wrong date in. It was like a date that hadn't even happened yet. I don't know how it even accepted that date, to be perfectly honest. So consistency in what you're doing. So set a time each week when you're going to look at your accounts, and it's been an hour, and looking at, have you got all your receipts up to date? Have you got a nice folder created about that's maintaining all your receipts and your communication from HMRC, communication from for different utility bills, for example, tracking payments from PayPal, Stripe, etc., which need to be shown separately. All those sort of things are all important, as well as other income streams that you may have coming in that come through your business or need to be shown in your tax return. So they're all brought together in a consistent way. So I have a folder that I use each month, and I'll look through that folder and I'll check that everything's up to date that needs to be up to date. I have a folder that at the front of it I have any receipts I have. If I can't do them straight away, so I know straight away, go to that folder, those receipts need to be updated onto my accountancy software, and I can then reconcile that with my bank account as well, because it's all interlinked on the software that I'm using. And I'm being consistent about it. I never used to be consistent about it. I have to say, it was not something that was came in second nature. But actually, now that I have spent time with accountants, I now understand what I'm doing. Now, there is something at the moment I'm not quite sure how to do it, and I will go back to the accountant and say, please can you help me? It'll take them 5 minutes to show me. I know it's not a big thing, I just can't remember exactly how to show it so it doesn't screw the system up. Okay, so but that's just my learning, that's my growth, to look at it and to look at it on a regular basis. Because from a money mindset perspective, you want to be doing financial projections, which is what I talked about in the last video. So please do look at how consistent or not you are, and if you're not consistent, then it's just your behaviours. If you find it really challenging to look at those accounts and you're just putting them off and putting them off, you may well have the maths phobia. You may well need to have support. You may well need to work on those fears, and that's the sort of thing that I can help you with. The next C of accounts is choices, about creating more choices for yourself. So as I said before, when you are up to date with your accounts, you know exactly what money is coming in, what money is due to come in, what money you're going to need to spend, what money you need to save for tax, for example. When an opportunity comes in, you'll have more choices. You can actually make a decision at that point. Do I go for that opportunity or not? That could be that you're going to be sharing a stand with somebody and they need payment straight away. It may be the fact, just happened to me today. Somebody's just said, actually a free trial you're on, Liz, is stopping. We need, do you want to continue with this at a particular price, or do you want to, come off it straight away? Now, I didn't know that it was going to be stopping. So actually I haven't allocated money for what I need to go forward. So I'll go and look at that. I've been looking at my accounts today to check what is there and what I need to think about going forward. So those choices that you have are so important. And the choices will come when you're up to date with your accounts and you know that you have the money paid already to HMRC, what your what your tax is due, or your VAT, or you know what's due to be paid to different suppliers at different times, so that you are able to make choices for yourself about your business. You can make a choice as to, do you need to go and get a part-time job alongside, because actually it's very clear from the trends in your accounts that actually you're not earning enough income, and actually to stabilise things you need to go and get a job so you've actually got money coming in from elsewhere, and then you can grow the business, you're more stable as an individual. And that's perfectly okay to do so. There's no shame in getting a job alongside a business. So look at how you can create more choices through your business by doing your accounts on time and being consistent about them. And that leads through to the O of opportunities, that more opportunities to save money will come to you. Whether you have an accountant or you don't, what happens is the very fact that you are keeping on top of your accounts means that you can actually see how much you're spending on each item. You can see how much you're spending on advertising, you can see how much you're spending on your marketing, on your IT work, whether it's your staff training, whatever it is that you're actually needing to check on. And by being able to check on that on a regular basis, you'll see that more opportunities can come from that. So you can see that actually the opportunity to have, if you can see that more sales coming from one particular item, you go, well, actually, I need to push sales on that even more, because that's really doing well at the moment. That's really going well. So what is it that I need to do to actually get that? And you can then business plan around that particular element. If, however, you're not tracking your sales, you're not paying attention to what's your best seller, you're just busy selling whatever, it's much more challenging to see other opportunities like growth with it, coming together with a collaborative partner to do things. Because if your accounts aren't in order, you're not able to work from a stable platform, if you like. You're just pie in the sky as to what's going on, which is never a good grounding for your business or for you, because it'll make you feel totally insecure if things start going wrong. I think, well, I thought this is not going to cost me such money. But actually, if you look at the amount of money you need, you look at what you've got, and you're in charge of that and you're spending time looking at that, you'll feel much more in control. The U of accounts is about understanding your accounts. And as I said before, the more that you understand your accounts, the more calm you will be. It doesn't matter if it's not massive amount of money in it, but actually you want to understand what the different elements mean. So you want to understand that actually, are you spending too much in your business and not actually getting enough return as part of it? Or, how much is you're spending a certain amount on the advertising, have you actually made that advertising money back? Are investments that you're making within your business a good return on you're getting a good return on that investment? So if you're spending on staff training, for example, can you see the investment back in your business because of that? And often your sales will show that that's the case, because you've trained somebody on something particular, or yourself on something particular, which then has got you something else. So for example, I've invested this year in becoming a trainer of the balance procedure. Now at the moment I haven't quite made my money back on becoming the trainer, but I'm not far off, about £50 off it, in getting that return on investment back. So it's about tracking those things so you can actually see that investment. Some things you can see, some things you can't see, but where possible, you want to measure your success, measure what's actually going on. And you do that by understanding your accounts, understanding how it works, understanding how it links to your business account, how it links to PayPal, Stripe, how you need to show your accounts, when in the year you need to do your accounts, so that you're totally focus about what's the right thing for you. The N of accounts is all about understanding your customer needs linked to your accounts. Okay, so you may have people who want to pay by payment plan, and that actually the accounting system that you're using just cannot cope with that, and you may need to look at, do you need a system that can actually deal with that particular system? I've certainly, offered payment plans myself before, which works very well with people. However, you want a piece of software that will check out the invoice at regular time. Otherwise, you end up doing, if it's a 12-month program, 12 different separate invoices. That's not paperwork to do, rather than just one for somebody as well. But you also need to track the payments coming in, because each payment that comes in actually takes you more time. It costs you more money. So you may need to charge more for doing a payment plan as well. And that's just something to consider, that you put that within the price or whatever that you allow it, or you give a discount the fact somebody pays up front the full amount of money. So looking at the customer needs about what is needed as part of it. So for example, it's about understanding what are you selling through your business and how you record those sales. So whether I'm recording, I like to record what workshop revenue I've received. I like to know what my book sales are. I like to know if I'm selling something new, what the sales are on that, rather than it being enveloped in other revenue. So I have a system that actually breaks that down, so I can look at that information in a real time way as well. So, and that links to the customer needs that I have and what I've created as my business, that then represents in the account system too. So anybody else look at it, it makes sense what's in there. It's not just a load of gobbledygook that's within the account system. The T of accounts is all about contemplating using some sort of package. Certainly we've been driven by HMRC towards going digital, although there have been certain delays on different aspects of that, and as it stands, not everybody has to be digital. I've been using the software package Xero myself personally since, it must be at least 5 years now, I think. And whilst it does cost me almost £30 a month, it does keep me up to date. Now, the accountant who supported me through using it actually felt it would keep me organised, because actually I used to use Excel initially, and I just couldn't. I found it very difficult about where to find different things and where to record things, and I found it quite confusing. Whereas now that I'm very conversant with using Xero, it's much easier because it's a template set up. So I can actually see different aspects that are going on. I can see where to invoice, I can see where to put my expenses. I see how things come together into reports. And so using that package allows you to track things more easily, which goes very nicely into the S of the accounts, which is the systems. And having systems within your business that feed into your accounts system. Okay, so whether that be like I've got my folder with a plastic envelope at the front, which has all my receipts that go in as I've spent things, and I a weekly basis go and add those onto my account system. I have the folder is in, I think there's 10 different aspects to it. There's a divisor in it. It's clearly labeled where things are, so things get filed. You still can find things. That's a system involved. But you may have other systems as part of your, in tracking your finances. So linked to your business plan, you might be tracking trends of when you see clients, what sort of things sell when, so you can see those different things, and depends on which systems you purchase depends on whether those items can be tracked or not. So with if you've got a retail shop, for example, you may have your Xero connected to your till, so actually it's automatically going up onto the system. But it's also, as I say, it's the offline systems as well, about what you're systemizing to make sure that receipts are. So the more consistent you are about that. So for example, if you spend something in a restaurant and you go, I know I can claim that on my business, that you might have a system that you put it in a particular purse, at a particular place in your purse. When you come home, you take it out of that purse so it doesn't get stuck and you never deal with it, and it gets straight away into your folder. That is what goes on to, by yourself or the bookkeeper, to be put onto your system. The more you do that, the more consistent you are, the more you're using systems, you'll find that you'll be much more efficient as well. The more that you are just, oh, things are in a pile of that, I think they might be there, you're less efficient, and you'll find it much more challenging to keep things going together. So I can't stress enough how important your accounts are. If you have any fears or you find yourself sabotaging through it, please, for God's sake, have a conversation with me. I'll help you feel an awful lot better about it. You'll probably have some money mindset blocks going on as well. But it's not to be feared. The more that you get a grip with it, but it is also working alongside an accountant who really understands you and supports you as well. And having worked with several accountants now, some understand what you may be going through if you've got a maths fear or you've got those challenges around it, and some don't. So it is a bit sort of hit and miss, and finding the right one that fits you. That makes you feel confident about it. The main thing is to go in and say, look, I want to know more about my accounts. I want to take ownership of this, and actually make sure that they're encouraging you through that process. Whether that's that they're putting training on for you, then they're checking in on you, that you're doing things and making, because actually it makes you an ideal client for them, because you're much more efficient and effective for them when you're passing things over as well, to do the final check over, and it will save you more money in the long run. So good luck with your accounts, and I look forward to sharing more wisdom with you soon. Bye.